Dune is a tale woven out of sand and spice, a monumental saga that has captivated audiences since Frank Herbert's original novel was published in 1965. Over the decades, we've seen multiple adaptations, but what truly stands out in the latest cinematic vision, from Denis Villeneuve's adaptation to the anticipation of its sequel, is how palpably alive the world feels. The moment you set foot on Arrakis, you sense the shifting grains beneath your feet, feel the oppressive heat of the desert sun, and hear the distant rumble of something colossal beneath the sand. Unlike many science fiction or fantasy worlds that merely look impressive, Dune's universe breathes with an unmistakable authenticity. It's a rare feat in cinema, building a world so convincing that audiences can almost taste the spice-laden air. Yet, how exactly does Dune achieve this effect? Why does it feel so real, despite its interstellar politics and gargantuan sandworms? Part of the answer lies in the source material itself. Frank Herbert's epic novel didn't merely sketch a futuristic backdrop. It painstakingly developed a complex socio-political, ecological, and spiritual ecosystem. The entire story is set against the harsh backdrop of Arrakis, a desert planet so punishing that every single inhabitant's life revolves around the acquisition and preservation of water. This elemental struggle immediately grounds the narrative in a sense of physical urgency. Even with advanced technology, the characters must adapt to environmental limitations, or perish. Herbert explored everything from the psychological impact of scarcity to the intricate survival tactics used by the local Freeman population. This meticulous detail pervades every scene, every line of dialogue, and every interaction. Consequently, directors who adapt Dune can tap into an existing well of authenticity, making the world feel fully realized rather than casually imagined. In the most recent film adaptation, Denis Villeneuve took this foundation and enhanced it through a cinematic lens. His filmic style is known for its grand scale and hushed tension, as seen in movies like Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. With Dune, he found a perfect match for his aesthetic sensibilities. The film opens with sweeping shots of desert terrain, capturing not just the landscape, but the air of mystery that hovers over it. From the first frame, there's a sense that Arrakis is as much a character as Paul Atreides or Chani. The desert storms, the shifting dunes, and the planet's punishing climate pulse with a vitality that exerts constant pressure on the characters. Villeneuve's emphasis on scale, whether it's the hulking shape of an approaching sandworm or the endless ocean of sand, roots us in a reality that feels both mythic and intimately tangible. Sound design plays a critical role in shaping this believability. The auditory landscape of Dune pulses with ominous undertones that suggest hidden terrors lurking beneath the sand. We hear the howl of desert winds, the grind of shifting dunes, and the bone-rattling thrum of the sandworms moving through the earth. This sonic backdrop is as pivotal to the storytelling as the visuals are. It's one thing to see a towering worm emerge from the ground. It's another to feel the deep bass reverberate through your seat. This synergy between the visual spectacle and the sound design ensures that the viewer doesn't just witness Arrakis. They experience it physically, which further cements the authenticity of the film's universe. Costuming and set design also do a remarkable job of inviting viewers into Dune's world. The still suits worn by the Freemen are a perfect example of form-meeting function. In Herbert's novels, still suits are described as marvels of survival technology, recycling the wearer's sweat and bodily fluids into drinkable water. Villeneuve's design team took that concept and made it look entirely plausible, like gear that could exist in a real heat-scorched environment.
This is why Dune. Kill them all. God in heaven.
The suits appear rugged and utilitarian, each crease and seam suggesting a specific engineering purpose. Similarly, the architecture on Arrakis blends futurism with harsh practicality. Structures are built to weather dust storms, while indoor spaces are dark and cavernous to escape the relentless sun. These details are not cosmetic flourishes. They're grounded in the planet's culture and climate. When every facet of the film's environment is consistent with survival in a desert wasteland, The result is a setting that feels organically alive. Another reason Dune feels so immersive is its cultural and political complexity. Herbert envisioned a vast interstellar empire with feudal-style houses vying for control of the spice melange, a substance critical for space travel, commerce, and spiritual experiences. The spice is found only on Arrakis, making the planet the linchpin of galactic power. Villeneuve's film doesn't shy away from the politics that saturate the story, showing how House Atreides inherits the stewardship of Arrakis from House Harkonnen, and the lurking conspiracies that undermine that transfer of power. This political tension is not mere window dressing. It's the heart of why the world feels so lived in. Every conversation about spice, every reference to the Emperor's schemes, and every clash between the Atreides and the Harkonnens underscores a history that stretches far beyond the bounds of the screen. You sense centuries of intrigue, alliances, and betrayals, all culminating in the present crisis. By letting the audience peek behind the curtain of these machinations, the movie gives us a glimpse of the planet's deeper significance, making it far more than just a sandy battleground. Spirituality and mythology also enrich the film's atmosphere. The local freemen don't merely see Arrakis as a place to eke out a living. They revere it. They have prophecies, customs, and deeply held beliefs about the desert and the Shai-Hulud, or sandworms, which they regard as both deities and existential threats. Paul Atreides, too, finds himself entangled in prophecy, with the Freemen believing he could be their long-foretold savior. This blend of religion, prophecy, and ecology interweaves with the larger political storyline, giving the narrative multiple layers of depth. The planet's hazards are not just physical, they're also metaphysical, tied to the people's sense of purpose and identity. When a story invests in a culture's spiritual and philosophical framework with this much detail, it transcends the superficial set dressings and becomes something that resonates more deeply. Watching these elements play out on screen, you get the sense that the Fremen could truly exist, that their rituals and beliefs have evolved over generations in response to Arrakis' trials. Casting plays a vital role in any adaptation, and the Dune films excel in choosing actors capable of carrying the weight of the narrative. Timothée Chalamet's portrayal of Paul Atreides balances youthful vulnerability with a sense of emerging destiny. You see a boy on the cusp of immense responsibility and potential power, grappling with cosmic forces beyond his understanding.
We are House Atreides. There is no call we do not answer. There is no faith that we betray.
Smile, Gurney. I am smiling.
The Emperor asks us to bring peace to...
Rebecca Ferguson, as Lady Jessica, radiates both maternal devotion and the formidable training of the Bene Gesserit sisterhood. Her personal struggle to protect her son while fulfilling her order's cryptic goals reflects the broader tension of the story. Duty versus desire, fate versus free will. Meanwhile, performers like Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto Atreides, Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho, and Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen each bring physicality and gravitas to their roles. Strong, nuanced performances anchor the more fantastical elements of the film, ensuring that even the most bizarre alien customs or psychic powers feel rooted in genuine human emotion. Cinematography further augments this sense of reality. The camera frequently lingers on wide shots of Arrakis' horizon, letting audiences appreciate the planet's scale and emptiness. When it zooms in on the characters, it captures tiny expressions of awe or dread that remind us they are all at the mercy of their surroundings. The minimal color palette, dominated by sand browns, deep shadows, and muted metallic grays, reinforces the punishing nature of the environment. Even the interior shots, whether aboard a spaceship or within the royal fortress, carry the claustrophobic air of a place fortified against natural hazards. The interplay of light and shadow often feels symbolic. A blazing desert sun yields to the pitch-black nights of Arrakis, mirroring the stark choices the characters face. Beyond visuals, the film's script pays careful attention to the nuances that define the Dune universe. Characters speak in hushed tones about the Bene Gesserit's genetic manipulations, the Emperor's questionable neutrality, and the deep ties between the Harkonnens and Arrakis's resources. Fragments of dialogue hint at events that transpired long before the film's timeline. Mentions of the Butlerian Jihad or the Orange Catholic Bible may not be elaborated upon, but their very presence reminds viewers that there is a vast history behind this story. These hints serve as windows into a grander narrative, reinforcing the impression that the film is but one chapter in a larger tapestry. This technique, showing just enough to pique curiosity without over-explaining, makes the world feel bigger than any single movie can encapsulate. Technological plausibility is another factor that breathes life into Dune's setting. Ornithopters, for instance, are an ingenious creation. Their insect-like design suggests a purpose-built machine designed to navigate fierce desert winds. These aircrafts don't look like generic sci-fi contraptions, but rather specialized vehicles adapted for Arrakis's climate and terrain. When they take off, viewers can almost sense the strain of the wings against the desert gales, underscoring the planet's harsh conditions. Similarly, the shield technology used by the Atreides and Harkonnens operates with clear rules. Fast-moving objects can penetrate, slow-moving ones are deflected, adding to the sense that the film's tech has defined limits and isn't a convenient catch-all. No conversation about Dune's immersive quality would be complete without mentioning the role of music. Hans Zimmer's score underscores the film's grandeur and mysticism.
Peace to Arrakis! House Atreides accepts!
I know you. There's something awakening in my mind.
He employs a blend of orchestral might, guttural chanting, and eerie vocalizations to mirror the dual nature of Arrakis, its awe-inspiring beauty and lurking dangers. The result is a soundtrack that feels otherworldly, yet never out of place, as if the wind itself might be singing these haunting melodies. Each time the music swells, it reaffirms the grandeur of the universe and the serious stakes at play. Where some scores merely accompany a film, Zimmer's composition in Dune expands the emotional terrain, reminding the audience that something sacred and historic is unfolding. All these elements, sound design, cinematography, performances, costuming, and a carefully woven script, converge to create a cinematic experience that resonates on a deeper level. There's a palpable weight to every footstep on the desert sands, every whispered secret in a palace corridor, every wide-eyed look at a looming sandworm. Dune's world is alive because it respects the complexities that Frank Herbert built into his universe. Ecological realities, cultural depth, political machinations, and spiritual wonder. By paying homage to those details, the filmmakers deliver a story where nothing feels arbitrary. Every shot, every line of dialogue, and every set piece ties back to the fundamental challenges and beliefs that define life on Arrakis. As a result, Dune doesn't feel like a temporary spectacle that fades as soon as the credits roll. It lingers. You leave the theater thinking about the spice's addictive properties, or pondering how one would survive in the deep desert, or replaying the intricate web of alliances that spurred the downfall of House Atreides. You may find yourself daydreaming about the next installment, wanting to see how Paul Atreides grows into his role among the Fremen, or what further secrets the Bene Gesserit might reveal. This lingering engagement is a testament to how rich and believable the film's universe truly is. Why does Dune's world feel so alive? Because it's built on a foundation of authenticity, born from a novelist who meticulously considered ecology, culture, and politics, and realized by filmmakers who understood that a world is not just a backdrop, but a living, breathing tapestry. Every creative choice, from the color of the desert sky to the drape of a stillsuit, serves the larger story and underscores the harsh, mystic allure of Arrakis. It's this cohesiveness that captivates audiences and sparks renewed interest in both the franchise and the broader lore. For fans of sci-fi or epic storytelling, it's a rare gift to step into a universe so painstakingly constructed that you almost forget it's fiction. With Dune, we're reminded of cinema's power to transport us. to let us walk on strange worlds, feel alien winds, and, for a couple of hours, inhabit a reality far beyond our own.